probably my second favorite part of this paper, because proof of work was like the most ingenious thing, but this is my second favorite because like it's so simple. It's like ridiculously simple. So here we go. The steps to run the networks are as follows. So he's saying, hey, here are the rules and steps to run the network. Step 1, or rule 1, new transactions are broadcast to all nodes. So everybody, new transactions are to be told to every computer in the network. Broadcast it everywhere. Tell everybody else. Tell your friends, everybody else who's connected to you. Each node collects new transactions into a block. So every computer collects new transaction into a block. Each node works on finding a difficult proof of work for its block. So each node works on finding, a node is basically a computer network, so or a device in a network. So each computer / device works on finding the proof of work magic number that will lock that block. That should be a saying from now on. Lock that block. Whenever you go to rallies, just yell, lock that block. Okay, rule number 4. When a node finds a proof of work, it broadcasts the block to all nodes. So whichever computer finds this magic number for this block, this proof of work, it has to tell everybody else and be like, hey, I found it. I'm a genius, you know. So rule number 5, nodes accept the block only if all transactions in it are valid and not already spent. So computers in the network only accept this block if transactions in it are valid, right, and not already spent. So no double spending. So think of it as like computers check to see if this transaction happened before. If it didn't happen, cool, it's passing. So this is a way to say to all people, or all double spender, swipe or no swiping. If you ever watched Dora the Explorer. Anyways, nodes express their acceptance of the block by working on creating the next block in the chain, using the hash of the accepted block as the previous hash. So computers say, yep, this one's accepted, and then they use the unique fingerprint of that block to work on this one. Okay, so those are your 6 rules. Pretty easy, pretty like cool. You know, so basically all computers build the block. Some computers mine the block, those are miners, and people that mine the block say, hey, I found the magic lock, and they broadcast it to everybody else, and then everybody else double checks to see if if the block has been double spent. If it has been double spent, then obviously computers don't accept it. If it hasn't been double spent, it's all Gucci, everything's fine. It's now a part of the blockchain. So that should make sense because that's kind of the architecture here. Nodes always consider the longest chain to be the correct one and will keep working on extending it. So all computers always consider the longest chain to be the correct one, and it's always working to extend this chain. So basically my saying for this is, if it's long, it's strong with trust. I should probably put in like a Yoda saying somewhere in here, because I feel like there should be like a Yoda quote in here somewhere. I'll figure it out. Okay, if nodes broadcast different versions of the next block simultaneously, some nodes may receive one before the other. So if 2 computers find the unique fingerprint of the block simultaneously, some computers will receive one block before the other. So in that case, they work on the first one they receive, but save the other branch in case it becomes longer. So if that happens, these computers work on the first block that they received. Apparently I spelled receive wrong, so there we go. But save the other one just in case that block ends up with the longest chain. Okay, cool. The tie will be broken when the next proof of work is found and one branch becomes longer. The nodes that are working on the other branch will then switch to the longer one. So the tie is broken when the proof of work is found and one block ends up being a part of the longer chain. So the computers that were working on the other block will switch to this one and work on this one, this longest chain. Remember, everything goes back to the longest chain. And here we have the next chapter / section is incentive. So let's talk about incentive.